Hey, it's Alger and Greif of the Oregonian with Tyson Alger, the Oregonian. We just watched Oregon beat Stanford 45-16, a pretty decisive victory after it was only a touchdown game in the third quarter. It was 24-16, looked kind of in doubt. Stanford had a bit of momentum, then Oregon just shut the door completely. They go on cruise control. Only 3 points allowed by the Oregon defense in the second half. All around, this felt like a statement. What was your impression of this win?
It was kind of just that, all week and actually all season you've heard about the quote-unquote Stanford problem and how the Ducks didn't really consider this game to be any bigger than anything beforehand. And, I think we both kind of found out afterwards that that wasn't the case. Andrew had a nice write-up about a story that was circulating through the Oregon locker room. But, you saw Oregon's defense play well. They limited Stanford to 16 points, especially, the news coming in was it's Stanford's big number 2 defense in the country coming in. A lot of that had to do with Oregon's offense, though, putting the pressure on Stanford's offense to go for certain plays, like that 4th down and 2 where they were within field goal range, but Oregon was already up 21-6 at that point. They felt like the second quarter they felt like they had to go for it. Derek Malone ends up tipping a pass. It's a turnover. Oregon goes down and scores another field goal. It's just certain plays like that Oregon had the foot on the throttle the whole time this game and had Stanford in a position where maybe Oregon had been the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I know that the Ducks won't like to hear this because we're talking about Heisman Trophy stuff, but Marcus Mariota, I think from the outside, just his numbers, they're going to satisfy voters. I think they're going to move him up, especially beating a defense that allowed teams to only score 12.5 points a game. They had that after their first 2 drives. Today they had 14. But he didn't play very well, really. He missed 2 wide-open ducks in the end zone on a pass that ended up missing Devin Allen as well. They settled for a field goal on that drive. 19 of 30, I believe, was his line tonight with an interception, his 2nd of the season. Didn't pass all that well, and yet he still came out and basically shredded, in many ways, the Stanford defense that hadn't given up more than 30 points in 31 straight games since October 6, 2012.
And that's what makes Mariota such a deep talent in this league, and potentially later on, is on days that he doesn't have the arm, he was just downright filthy with his legs today, as he's been in the past. And last week, too, against Cal, he had 5 touchdowns, but he still looked like maybe just a little off on certain throws. But, he's a Heisman candidate for what we saw out there today. And
Oregon coaches afterward lamented that they didn't score more. They thought that this was a really good sign, not only that they scored this many points, but that they left a lot out there, and they say they made a lot of mistakes. I want to go through a couple key moments that people might have forgotten from this game. There was one play in particular, down near the goal line, about 6 yards out, Marcus Mariota, they're trying to put the boot on the neck of Cardinal, and Charles Nelson, again, had a big play.
Yeah, Charles Nelson comes from the right side, and it's called a crackback block, and just seals off that corner. Mariota pretty much had just the clean shot into the end zone there. Charles Nelson's not a big guy. I didn't see the actual height and weight on the guy he blocked, but I can guarantee you it was a little bit of a size difference there. And that's just another example of a guy who's just going out on the field to play wherever he can and being effective in those situations. And I know Thomas Tyner had a big game as well.
Yeah, he did. His numbers, I can get them real quick, but he had his most impressive was more than 20-yard run where he just looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
Ran hard,
about 15 yards untouched, at the 6-yard line, just did a ridiculous spin move on an Stanford safety, I think Jordan Richards, left the guy, just looked like his jock was on the floor. It was really impressive. That was the Thomas Tyner, who is a 5-star back, not the guy who there were rumors are, is he happy the last few weeks when his role diminished. That was really impressive. Another one, Aiden Schneider, a 40-yard field goal for a true freshman. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the 2nd week in a row Aiden's been on the point after field goal. Matt Wogan did play today. He did do the kickoffs, but Schneider seems like he's maybe taking that field goal role.
Yeah. In terms of milestone, Royce Freeman, 98 yards net rushing day, 2 shy of getting a 4th straight 100-yard game. I don't think anyone's really going to care. They'll take this win. It changed a lot. It gives Oregon not only a new winning streak against Stanford, who had won 2 in a row, but now they are 2 games up on Stanford in the Pac-12 North standings with 3 to play, and 2 of those games appear very winnable against Colorado and Oregon State. We might be seeing you guys in Levi Stadium in early December.